What is resource security arranging? It involves creating boundaries around your resources, whether they are private or business-owned, in order to protect them from suit, lender cases, seizure, and oppressive duties. It is an important and totally legitimate part of both financial planning and domain planning. You can safeguard your resources using a variety of key apparatuses. In order to reach your monetary goals, you can work with a monetary advisor to structure and coordinate your resources. What is resource security arranging? In spite of many individuals' thought process, resource security arranging isn't only for the rich. The homes of anybody, in any pay bunch, can be sued or experience the ill effects of strong tax collection. These procedures can relieve the impact of lessor claims and different issues on your abundance. In the event that you need and have to safeguard your resources, you must be proactive. It's past the point where it is possible to utilize resource security methodologies after a kid is harmed on your property and the kid's folks sue you or you are to blame in a serious fender bender. You need to set up a resource assurance plan before any of these things happen to you. While many individuals can profit from setting up a resource assurance plan, not every person can. In the event that you have a ton of obligation and hardly any resources and you are dependent upon a claim, it could be smarter to take Chapter 11 and set up a resource security plan. That is on the grounds that it's just worth the effort, assuming you have critical resources, however a few occasions can't be safeguarded against. These incorporate duty liens, mechanics liens, provision decisions and youngster support claims. Who ought to have a resource assurance plan? A resource security plan can be established by anyone. Arrangements benefit accompanying individuals in the following ways. Everyone who has a large amount of assets should essentially consider resource security, but it is especially important for those who have a relatively small amount. Anyone with a large, repeating credit card obligation. Property owners who are underwater on their mortgages. If your home loan balance exceeds the value of your home, you should consider a resource security plan. Anybody whose calling conveys with it a high likelihood of obligation. Specialists and legal counselors are a few normal models. A few resources are not helpless before your loan bosses, for example, retirement accounts under the insurance of the Representative Retirement Pay Security Demonstration of 1974, ERISA. You may likewise legitimately protect basically a piece of your home value. Homes might be placed in another singular's name. Ledgers can be moved to seaward banks to save their worth. How does a resource insurance plan work? A resource insurance plan aims to put a level of legal partition between you and your assets. Using this legal detachment, you can legally protect your resources from banks without taking any unlawful actions. To safeguard your resources, you should generally move them from unprotected possession to a protected form of legitimate ownership, for example, one of these options. Family restricted organization. A family restricted company is an extremely common vehicle for protecting your assets. If you believe your kids should inherit any family-owned organizations or resources, such as properties, after you die, you can create a FLP. FLPs typically consist of laying out an overall organization, followed by making your main beneficiaries and relatives restricted partners. You will always have the option to make major decisions as the general partner. Regardless, your accomplices, whether they are your children or other family members, will own a stake in the association. As a result, your domain will become smaller. Every year, individuals from the FLP can surrender to the gift charge breaking point to others. The gift charge limits are $15,000 for a solitary individual and $30,000 for a couple. If you have various relatives you need to gift to, you can gift up to these sums for every one of them. Pay from a FLP is additionally avoided from domain charges assuming that individual passes on. Tenure by the total. It is also possible to obtain resource insurance through occupancy by the total, TBE, which is a type of joint legitimate ownership between two married individuals. However, it gives specific bequest advantages to those who decide to hold their property in TBE in unambiguous states. Besides improving on the legacy cycle, tenure by the sum ensures shared responsibility for property and keeps survivorship benefits. TBE also offers monetary securities, which protect property from specific banks and lawsuits. The two owners of an occupancy by the whole will own an equal share of the property, regardless of where the assets were obtained to buy it. In the same way, the property cannot be sold or moved without the consent of the other companion. Obligation claims against a domain must be applied to a TB property in the event that the obligations are likewise shared. Separately possessed obligations can't be guaranteed against the property. This really intends that if by some stroke of good luck one companion is sued or seeks financial protection because of individual obligations, the TBE-held property isn't by and large reachable for losers. Resource Security Trust. A resource security trust, well suited, is a permanent, self-settled belief that can protect your resources from lender activities, including claims. These lawful designs can be homegrown or worldwide. Not all US states remember them, so as of this article's composition, having a homegrown ABLE in 17 states is just conceivable. Global APTs are more costly than their homegrown partners yet offer more grounded security, essentially in light of the fact that they place resources outside the compass of US regulations and courts. Resource assurance missteps to stay away from. Simply being familiar with resource security isn't sufficient. Execution is everything, and there are various ways that endeavors at resource security can neglect to convey the ideal outcome. Here are the absolute most normal entanglements to stay away from. Standing by excessively lengthy. Whenever you've been named in a claim or prosecution against you is impending, it's reasonable past the point where it is possible to attempt to raise a legitimate wall around compromised resources. Courts for the most part don't approve of somewhat late protective moves, and judges and juries can invalidate such moves as false. Taking an off-the-rack, one-size-fits-all methodology, an effective resource insurance plan should be redone to your particular circumstance. Think about it along these lines: the lawful wall you put around your property ought to accommodate your property and not the property of some non-exclusive resource holder, depending on a will or residing trust. These instruments won't shield resources from Medicaid bequest recuperation or nursing homes. Main concern. The concept of resource security arranging involves moving private or business resources into vehicles such as family restricted associations, occupancy by the whole, and resource insurance trusts. The process can be costly and complex, so engaging an accomplished lawyer is vital. In the US, resource insurance does not provide outright protection against charge liens, mechanics liens, divorce settlements, and child support claims. Domain arranging tips. It very well may be smart to work with a monetary consultant who's talented in domain arranging and resource security arranging on the off chance that you don't know where to begin. Finding a certified monetary guide doesn't need to be hard. Boosted Advisors Free Apparatus coordinates you with up to 3 monetary consultants in your space, and you can talk with your guide matches at no expense to conclude which one is ideal for you. In the event that you're prepared to find a consultant who can assist you with accomplishing your monetary objectives, get everything rolling at this point. Would you like to find out about the bequest arranging regulations in your state? Investigate Smart Assets Bequest Arranging Manual for track down that data and substantially more.